Hi, I'm Jason. This is the method used to quantify the foliage surface area in photographs of flora samples. The setup is going to require you to have a Macintosh G5 computer running OS X 0.5 Leopard. It should have AppleScript on it. This should be a part of the Leopard setup, but it is possible to remove it. To make sure it's there, look under your applications for the AppleScript folder, and it should be in there. Also, you will need Adobe Photoshop CS3. It may be possible to use other versions of either the operating system or of Photoshop, but I can't guarantee the results if that happens. You'll need to download the file ISUVideo.zip and unzip that. The first thing I want to do is launch Photoshop. Then make sure that your Actions palette is visible. If it isn't, select Actions from the Window drop-down menu of the menu bar and drag Actions ATN onto the PS icon on your dock. The folder Actions should show up in your Actions palette then. Also, you want to make sure that your histogram palette is visible. If it isn't, select Histogram from the Window drop-down menu of the menu bar. If there's already a check next to the histogram in the drop-down menu, look at your Navigator palette and see if its tab is visible behind the Navigator tab. If it is, just click on that tab to bring it to the front. Then select Expanded View from that palette. Open the image you wish to process by dragging its icon onto the Photoshop icon on the dock. The process is fairly straightforward, but there's a little explanation involved here. The photographs weren't taken with a consistent spatial relationship between the camera and each sample. As a result, there are variations in the size of each sample as represented by each digital image. To compensate for this, each image has to be normalized so that the green pixels counted are relative to a consistent size reference. In other words, if you just counted the green pixels in each image without normalizing, it would be like trying to measure the size of objects if all you had to go by were self-referential photos that you knew had been enlarged by random amounts and unquantified amounts. Any measurements would be pretty useless at that point. So the first step in normalization is to fix the angle of each shot. This is important to subsequent steps in normalization. Do this by selecting the ruler tool from your Photoshop palette, from your tools palette. And if the ruler isn't visible, click and hold on the eyedropper palette, on the eyedropper in the tools palette, until the drop-down menu appears, and then select the ruler. Use the ruler to identify a horizontal reference line in the photograph, preferably one of the x-axes on the sample dish. Let's see. Click on the far left vertex and drag to the far right. A line with the plus sign at either end should result. Now under the image drop-down menu, select Rotate Canvas Arbitrary, and a dialog box should pop up with a small, possibly fractional angle amount highlighted in blue. This measurement was determined by your ruler tool. So assume it to be correct and hit Return, or click on the OK button, and the image should rotate so that the horizontal lines in the photo are parallel to the top and the bottom of the window. Next, use your crop tool to remove the extraneous image area. Essentially, you can get rid of as much as you want to, as long as you don't crop out any of the green sample matter that you want counted, and as long as you leave at least one complete reference square visible. you'll need the reference square for the next step. All right, that next step is this. You select your marquee tool from your tool palette, which is the little ants marching square, they sometimes say. And make sure that you've got a square or a rectangular marquee tool selected. Drag the marquee out over the reference square, holding the shift key down. This is important because that constrains your marquee tool to a perfect square, and that's important too to the next step. Drag it out to the Finder and locate the file scale to resize.app. It should have been the unzipped ISU download folder. Double click that. First time you run this application, it might ask you to locate Photoshop. If it does, just navigate to Photoshop in the navigation menu. It'll be under Applications usually. Then once it's running, it'll ask you to press Run to run the script. So you can just press Run, or after a short delay, you'll get a dialog box that pops up, and it'll ask if you're happy with your selection. If you've got a good square selected, if you're happy that you've selected, you know, a dead-on square reference image, reference in your image, hit OK or Return, and doing so will automatically resize your image and select all of the green pixels. The number of pixels selected will appear in the bottom left field of the histogram palette on your Photoshop window there. You'll need to manually record this number, either write it down or type it into a a spreadsheet or a database probably, and that's where you get the number of pixels. Also, you'll probably want to save each image once you've normalized it to keep from having to process it again, should the need arise to consider it another time. If you do need to go back to a saved, an already saved normalized image, all you have to do to select the green pixels again is to play the Select Green Pixels action in the Action palette by double-clicking on the action, or by hitting play once that action is selected. And the selected number of pixels will again appear in the histogram palette. That's pretty much it. That's how you do it. Good luck.